Today I'm going to start talking about my childhood and some of the things that I remember growing up that contributed to the trauma that led to my bipolar. So, just to kind of give you some background information, when I was like 3 is when my parents got a divorce. And I don't really remember the divorce. I remember that we stayed in a women's shelter for a while with my mom. And then I remember that place. It was awful. I have nightmares still to this day. And I remember my mom living in a trailer at one point. And I remember a lot of guys coming and going. And then I kind of remember like some of that stuff, but not a lot. And sorry, my dog is jumping up on the couch. Anyway, so my mom eventually ended up settling into these low income apartments, and I know everybody's going to say there's no bad parts of Boise, but this part was really bad. It was so bad that I can tell you exactly what happened in the first week that we were there. I was probably like 5 when we first moved in, maybe 4 or 5. And I remember within a week of us moving there, like, there was an ambulance one night, and, little kids, they see flashing lights and hear sirens, they're going to look. Well, I looked to see them carting out a body on a cart. And it was because the people that lived there, the guy died of a heroin overdose. And I was told that's what happened. He just died from a heroin overdose. So as a kid, that was really traumatic to me because I saw a dead body and I didn't know what drugs were. So I just thought, oh God, this guy died. And then within a few months of that, the person that moved into that apartment, they were drinking and playing Russian roulette one night. And somebody just happened to be the winner. So that was all just in a matter of months of when we moved in there. And then when I was a little bit older as a kid, every morning I would get dressed and look out and wave to these guys that would park back behind this dumpster behind our apartment complex that looked out towards the street. And it was very obvious that they were watching for something, but I don't know what they were watching for until later. They were there for about 2 months, and then when they left, I was like, okay. Well, come to find out, they were stalking a rapist. So the rapist was a serial rapist, and I can't remember if he had murdered anybody, but he was featured on America's Most Wanted, and he was hiding out in our low-income neighborhood because why would any of us care? We were just low income or people of color. So, so my brother and I used to go to school a couple miles away from home because of the shared custody situation. So we used to have to walk probably about 4 or 5 miles to get home every day. I'd have to Google it, and I'm probably wrong. It's probably like 1.5 miles. It just seemed like forever for me. Because we definitely didn't go to the school in our school district. But that day we came home, and like that guy came home. Like we were walking home from school, and that guy came home, and he would rape and kidnap small children. So we ended up being the ones that called Crime Stoppers to come and get him after he was featured on America's Most Wanted. We knew exactly what he looked like, and the FBI guys didn't have to tell us. Then another time when I was a teenager, my friend and I were hanging out watching my brother and sister, like always, and there was a knock at our back door. I was like, nobody ever knocks at the back door. That's so weird. So I went to the back door, and there was a man dressed up in SWAT gear. He's in the SWAT gear because there is a man holding his wife and child at gunpoint. We were told that we had to hide in the stairway because if bullets started, that was the safest place to be. Because it was in the middle of our home and it was reinforced. They were sitting perched on the top of our roof with snipers looking for this guy. So that's just a few of the things that happened, and that's not including anything that my parents did. That just covers the the area that I grew up in. And it contributed to trauma, and it contributed to a long life of issues. So just keep that in mind, that society does play a huge role on what impacts your kids, and you need to make sure that they have a safe place at home, so that that safe space can be where they run to when they're having issues, like we did. We didn't have any place to hide from it. We'd go home and our parents were either not there, or they were abusive, or they had boyfriends or girlfriends that were abusive. So that's all for today. I will share some more as we go along. Thank you.